What you are about to watch is the best and closest story of our true history. The researcher known as Our True History is the foremost expert and has solved things people didn't even know could be solved. This is the first video of the series. Check out his channel for more. And documentaries, ourtruehistory.co.uk.
In a universe that is not the one we are in, a planet with beings living on it try to recreate the start of their universe. They use a machine that smashes particles together. They know it's dangerous, but they still try. They manage to get two particles to smash. But what they didn't expect was a new particle is formed. This new particle starts expanding. The beings try everything to destroy this new energy but can't. Frantically put a force field container around it to stop it expanding even more. They have realized they have just created a universe, a tiny one to them, but still a universe. The energy within the new small universe expands within the force field. But what the beings didn't know is they also created a new life form inside that new universe. Maybe even more than one, these small plasma energy orbs are just starting a life. They know nothing other than to move around. Time moves different inside the universe inside the force field. From the time outside of it, inside time belongs to mass and speed. But other than the orbs, no one is around to notice. The plasma orbs are energy. They won't die. But because they have no mass, they can go back in time to when the universe was formed. They can even go forward in time. As time moved on, the material in the mini-universe started to clump and coalesced. The main part of this was what we know as heavy water. The water would mingle and form all types of planets, from planets with gas mixed it to watery planets and everything in between. Inside the universe, suns formed, mostly two inside each solar system. Everything was a mess back then. Nothing had stable orbits. Planets would smash in suns and into other planets. Slowly, over time, everything started to settle. And that's where our story starts. A planet with a red hue on one side and blue oceans on the other is ejected from its own solar system. It didn't manage to get a stable orbit, and over millions, if not billions of years, it slowly let go of what orbit it had, sending the planet out of its solar system and across the Great Void, a void between solar systems. Its journey took 70 years of its time. Remember, time moves different in this universe, and this planet was big, at least 4 to 10 times the size of Earth. But this planet has a secret. Like many planets that were formed a long time ago, this planet had life forms. They have been evolving for billions of years. On the planet, there is a species with intelligence. They have evolved enough to have created spaceships. There were animals on the planet, but its alpha race was called Dingir. They had their own wars on their planet. Over a long time, it goes so bad with them using nukes on each other, they called a truce and let a male and female from the opposite sides marry, forming a new kingship that would keep the peace. They would then marry close relatives and half-sisters and half-brothers to keep the bloodline pure for whoever is royalty. We translate their race name Dingir to the word gods. The other side of the void, there was a solar system was forming from the waters in the empty space. The sun had been formed first, and then the waters mingled, and a huge water planet was formed. We know it now as Tiamat. The Norse gods called it the frost giant. You can see all the evidence on my website, ourtruehistory.co.uk. Over time, Tiamat broke out smaller planets, and other planets also formed because of the waters. The planet that was crossing the void, we know it as Nibiru, entered this new solar system and passed many planets. They didn't have proper orbits and were smashing into each other. But Nibiru, home of the Dingir people, managed to pass the planets heading towards the sun. Nibiru, being a large planet, picked up 4 small asteroids, which got trapped in its orbit and became moons of Nibiru. Nibiru's direction took it past a planet we call Jupiter and straight towards Tiamat, the huge frost giant planet. The 4 moons of Nibiru get pulled towards the huge frost giant because of its gravity. The moon smash into Tiamat, and Nibiru direction changed because of Jupiter, and made Nibiru swing back around past Jupiter, back out towards the edge of the solar system. The planet Tiamat was damaged but didn't break it up. But when Nibiru got to the edge of the solar system, it came back around. This time, it was heading directly for Tiamat, and the Dingir knew it. There's nothing they could do. They just hoped it would be okay for them and their planet.
There's 2 books unlike any other you will read. Finally, you'll get answers to the biggest unsolved mysteries: Anunnaki, aliens, spirits, Atlantis, crystal and elongated skulls, Bigfoot, and so much more. 15 different chapters in each book, covering many different paranormal subjects. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. They will make an excellent present for someone. Just type on Amazon, Ebbins Publishing, and you will find the books.
Planet Nibiru hit Tiamat, and Tiamat started to break up. But when Nibiru hit the ice planet, it transferred life from Nibiru to the watery ice planet. Tiamat broke up with one larger part, moving away past a planet we call Mars. Tiamat's own moon, called Kingu, also got knocked away. The rest of Tiamat broke into millions of rocks, and the water on those rocks stayed around that area. The larger part of Tiamat that broke off finally got caught in an orbit. It's in between planets we call Venus and Mars. It settled in the middle of them. This is because of a thing called Bode's Law. We know that middle planet is Earth. Kingu, the moon of Tiamat, also found its way near Earth and got caught by Earth's gravity. Kingu became the moon to Earth. Earth at that point was an ice planet. We call that time Snowball Earth. The rocks out between Jupiter and Mars, the other remains of Tiamat, were spinning out of control. The Dingir had no choice but to try to stop the asteroids flying all over. They got in their ships and managed to make a ring of them. We call that ring the asteroid belt. The Dingir called it the hammer bracelet. They were pleased, but they had now created a vault in the expanse.
Genesis 1:6-8, NIV. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. God called the vault Sky.
The Bible talks about the asteroid belt. It even tells us about the water above and below. We know the water and asteroids were part of the planet Tiamat, a firmament that we think is a dome over Earth. The Dingir called it a firmament and told us about the waters above and below it, the waters that were from the broken-up planet called Tiamat. Ceres, the largest object in the asteroid belt, is a water-rich world, primarily in the form of subsurface ice and possibly briny liquids. Data from NASA's Dawn mission 2015 to 2018, shows that water makes up a significant portion of Ceres' composition, far higher than Earth's overall percentage. Nibiru ended up with an orbit between Mars and Jupiter, and back out past Pluto. This orbit took around 3,600 Earth years. The Dingir called it a shar. We call a shar a year, so to them it's just 1 year, but we see it as 3,600 years. This will become important later. Over time, the planet Nibiru's atmosphere was struggling. The planet kept warm by volcanoes and thermal heat from within, but the atmosphere was starting to escape into space. Something needed to be done. The Dingir first tried to restart dormant volcanoes using nukes. It didn't work. Then they thought that gold particles sprinkled in the atmosphere might help. They knew the hammered bracelet had golden veins. They sent ships out to mine the gold in the asteroid belt, but they lost 2 ships. They didn't know what to do, and their king, who was called Alalu, wasn't doing anything about it. A young man proclaimed himself to the rightful heir to the throne. His name was Anu. The elders checked family records. He was indeed entitled, but Alalu suggested a wrestling match. The winner takes the throne. They wrestled, and Anu won. He beat Alalu and became king. Alalu feared for his life, because he only got the kingship because he killed the previous king. Alalu fled to one of the spaceships. He knew the asteroid belt and Earth were made from the planet Tiamat. He thought if he could travel to Earth and find gold, they might make him king again. He traveled long and far in the ship, finally reaching the asteroid belt. He was in a ship with nukes on it. He fired them as the asteroids to create a gap to get through. He was now on his way to Earth. What would he find there? The furthest any Dingir had ever gone was the hammered bracelet. Could he even breathe on Earth? The Dingir called Earth Ki. It was a long journey. He finally passed Mars. Next stop Earth.
Everything is connected. In a world you thought you knew, one book will change the way you look at life forever. 30 years of research explains how Earth was smashed into. Discover the real name of the alien race we call the Anunnaki. Learn why everything started in ancient Mesopotamia, now modern Iraq. Examine the proof between humans, Anunnaki, and Egyptian rulers. You will find out that there were real giants living with humans. The pyramids were not tombs. They were technical devices built by aliens and man. Do you believe the dinosaurs all died out millions of years ago? Think again. Who really is on the dark side of our moon? Understand who really controls Earth. Crop circles are not just created by man. Look inside the book and discover the mysterious forces at work. Bigfoot is not a myth. They are real and connected to aliens. Everything you need to know and so much more at your fingertips. Available from Amazon, Kindle, and OurUntoldHistory.com.
The aliens in the other universe are unaware of life forms in the mini-universe they created, because for them only minutes have passed. But inside the mini-universe, billions of years have passed. The orbs that started life at the same time have now become sentient. However, they just live. They can't die. They are bored. But they have found a way to make the boredom go away for a brief moment, and it actually helps the light energy being grow. The orb joins with life that has a pineal gland. It then experiences the life that it's joined with. Although this is only a blink of an eye for the eternal energy life form, it's a distraction which it uses to learn. Learn what it's like to be an animal or a human. Hear the thoughts of the host. Understand happiness. Learn sadness. Learn everything the host goes through. The orbs even join with the Dingir. They are aware of the life forms, but don't know how to communicate with them. When a host, such as the Dingir, dies, the orb leaves the body and retains the memories and actual thoughts of the host. We know it as a ghost or spirit. Alula's ship reaches Earth. He circles the planet 3 times using his sensors to find gold. It detects gold, and he takes his ship down to land. He gets out and puts on his eagle helmet. You'll recognize this from ancient cultures. He steps outside and walks around. He walks for a while, and finally he feels if he has any chance of getting gold, he needs to be able to breathe properly. He takes his helmet off, takes deep breaths, and then laughs. He is happy. But now the other problem. Is Earth's water drinkable? He goes a swamp. He uses a device to test the water. It's bad. It would kill him. He starts to walk away when he sees a stick move. He shoots it with a laser beam. He picks up the stick. We know it as a snake. He'd never seen a creature like it. He keeps walking and finally finds more water. Fresh water. He tests. He drinks. It's good. Now he walks to a tree. He takes a fruit and eats it. It's bitter, but it's good. The light is getting dark. He's not sure what's happening, so he heads back to his ship. By the time he gets back there, the sky is completely black. Only Kingu, Earth's moon, casts a light. Alula is scared. What's happening? Why is it dark? He sits in his craft and falls asleep. He wakes and there is light again. He slept for about 30 days and nights to us, but to him that's just one night. He gets up and goes to the ocean. We know it as the Persian Gulf. He goes into the water with a container and digs under the sediment. He puts gold in the container, and it registers as gold. The Dingir saw that gold was good. He goes back to his craft and contacts Nibiru. They didn't know where he had gone. Alula explains everything and tells them he wants to be king. King Anu suggests he can be the leader of Earth for now, and King Anu will send his son Ea. We know Ea as Enki, and 49 other Dingir to come down to mine the gold. Ea says he needs to design a craft that can take gold from the bottom of the water and remove the dirt. He will also design the craft so that when he gets to the firmament, he'll use water cannons to move the asteroids away to get past. This spaceship we know they called a barge. You may have heard of the solar barge from ancient Egypt. There's a carving of this and other craft in Abydos. But this will take about a year to build and to get to Earth. A year for Alula is 3,600 years for us. Alula builds a shelter. All this was around 445,000 years ago. But what he didn't know was there are big creatures on Earth. Those big creatures we know as dinosaurs. There's enough evidence to show dinosaurs didn't all die out 66 million years ago. Alula and his laser gun had no problem killing the dinosaurs and cooking its meat for food. A year for Alula passes, but Earth's time 3,600 years has passed. Ea is on his way to Earth, but there's trouble ahead for Alula, the king of Earth. Or so he thought. EA's spaceship gets to the asteroid belt, and it uses its water cannons to move the asteroids out of the way. The craft also uses water and crystals to power the craft. They used too much water. EA says to his pilot, they should stop on Lahmu to refill if it has water. We know Lahmu as Mars. The craft lands on Mars, and there are creatures living on it. They appear to be like horses, but they have sloped backs. They take on water and leave. Interestingly, Mars back then did have life and water. It's Nibiru's gravity over billions of years that sucked it out, but around this time, 440,000 years ago, there was some life and water still there. Sadly, as you'll find out later, something happened that finished off the life and water on Mars. But for now, EA finally arrives on Earth and lands the huge craft on the water in the Persian Gulf. The 50 dingir wade to the land and are met by Alula. They lock arms and all is forgiven. It's daytime on Earth and they have a meal cooked by Alula. They get in Alula craft as it gets dark. All the other dingir are scared. They have never seen darkness come so quick. Finally, they fall asleep and wake about 30 Earth days later. This was just one night for them. When they woke, it was the morning of the second day. He assigns duties over the waters. He tells them to wear robes that they had brought with them. Engur is placed in charge of fresh water, Enbilulu oversees the marshes, and Enkimdu is tasked with ditches and irrigation. Day 3, Ea and Alalu inspect the vegetation, sampling herbs and fruits. Isimud, Ea's vizier, helps identify what is safe to eat. A hero named Guru is appointed to oversee food supplies. Day 4. EA orders tools taken from the ship to begin constructing dwellings. Kula supervises the making of bricks, and Mushdamu directs the foundations. Day 5. Ningirsig builds a reed boat to explore the marshes. Together with Ulmash, they separate edible fish and birds from those unfit to eat. Enbilulu and Enkimdu prepare pens and traps. Day 6. EA surveys the animals of the land, appointing Enersag to distinguish the creatures that crawl and those that walk. The construction of the camp and protective fence is completed. Day 7. The group gathers, and EA, who is now known as the Great Lord, proclaims the seventh day a time of rest after their hazardous mission and successful landing.
Exodus 28-11, King James Version 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 9. 6 days shalt thou labor, and do all thy work. 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
They establish their settlement and name it Eridu, home in the faraway. Alalu is honored as commander. Gold extraction begins. They find plenty of iron and copper, but very little gold. A full year passes. The work continues through months and seasons. At year's end, they take stock and see that the gold gathered is not enough to send to Nibiru. EA orders the barge moved to deeper seas. This brings better results. Gold is finally detected, though still in small amounts. He informs Anu, who is pleased at first, but soon asks if it will be sufficient. It is still not enough to meet Nibiru's needs. King Anu and the royal council grow impatient. The planet still requires gold urgently to heal its atmosphere. King Anu sends his other son, Prince Enlil, to take command over Prince Ea and devise a stronger plan for obtaining gold from Earth's interior. Enlil arrives and surveys the land with Ea, confirming there is indeed gold in the soil and rocks, but it must be mined rather than filtered from water. Alula hasn't been put in charge yet. He's getting frustrated. Enlil declares that Eridu cannot continue alone. He suggests bringing more Anunnaki workers, creating new settlements, and extracting gold from the earth itself. It was around this time that King Anu called the older Dingir the team name Anunnaki, meaning those from heaven to earth. The younger Dingir that has just arrived were to be called Igigi, which means watchers or eye in the sky. To settle disputes, Anu himself journeys to earth. He meets with his sons Ea and Enlil, and lots are cast to divide command and territories. This angers Alula because Ea was given the Abzu to be in charge of. The Abzu we know as Africa. Enlil was in charge in Mesopotamia. We know that as Iraq. And King Anu still remained in charge of Nibiru. Alula demanded a wrestling match to put him as king of Nibiru again if he wins. Last time he lost. They did wrestle, and Alula lost. He was pinned on the ground. But because the Anunnaki didn't wear clothes when wrestling, Alula bit off King Anu's private part and swallowed it. You will know Alula as Kronos. I have evidence of this on my website, ourtruehistory.co.uk. Alula was sentenced to banishment on Lahmu, Mars, until he dies there, but his grandson, called Anzu, requested to stay with Alula on Mars. Just at that time, Ninma, half-sister of Enki and Enlil, chief medical officer, is also brought to Earth. She suggests, on her way to dropping her father King Anu back on Nibiru, after she drops Alula and Anzu on Mars, then, when she returns, she will stop on Mars, and if Anzu is still alive, she will bring him back to Earth. Alula and Anzu are dropped off on Mars, because Alula swallowed the private part of King Anu. He was poisoned and would die a horrible death. Anzu stayed with him. Ninma dropped King Anu back on Nibiru and headed back to Mars. Nearly 6 months had passed, and when she landed, she found Anzu near a lake. He was not breathing. Because she's the chief medical officer, she used all her skills to revive him. He woke and thanked her. She asked where Alula was. Anzu told her he died a long time back and he's been on his own. He put Alula's body in a cave that he made with his laser. Ninma asked to see the cave. They went there and saw Alula's body. She was sad. Nimna said that because he was a king once, and because he's the first king to die on another planet, they should honor him. You won't believe what they did to honor him. It's outstanding.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
2 new books. Has all the evidence you need.
Almighty God or Anunnaki gods? You'll get your answer.
Ninma had a laser beam cut into the rock that have the cave with Alula's body inside. She was carving his face on the rock, a tribute to the first king to die on another planet. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the mini-universe, other life forms had now also become intelligent, and some had already been exploring the universe. Some of these beings were the oldest physical in the universe, such as this praying mantis type. It's only around 430,000 years ago in Earth's time that some of these beings head out towards our solar system. Don't worry, they won't arrive for another 420,000 years. Back on Earth, the Tigris and Euphrates are being made by the Igigi. These rivers were made so that the Anunnaki that were working in the buildings, for refining and medical center and spaceport, could have food and water. Once done, they were taken to the Abzu, Africa, where they had to mine. It was hard work. Enki designed a rock crusher machine, but Because they had no infrastructure on Earth, the Dingir on Nibiru had to make it. That would take a year of their time to building and send it to Earth. This wasn't good enough for the young heroes the Igigi were told at the start. If they help, they would only need to do a little work. But digging deep hole into the ground by hand was too much for them. They were getting tired and angry. Enki had his own place in the Abzu. He had been tinkering with genetics of animals here on Earth, mixing them, creating hybrid animals, and they were behind large fences he had the Igigi make for him. Enki was in charge of the mining in the Abzu, but he wasn't aware of the Igigi getting annoyed at the hard work. For 3,600 years, the Igigi bore the excess. You'll notice the year 3600, and in the Atra Hasis tablet, that's 1 year for the Anunnaki. Please visit my website for all the evidence. Our true history. In the mines, the young sons of God were now so angry they actually set fire to the tools and got in a craft and went to see Enlil. He is the main leader, and so he will have to sort this out. Enki didn't know what was happening. He was still in the Abzu when the Igigi went to Mesopotamia. That means between two rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. In the dead of night, under the middle watch of the stars, the Igigi gathered like shadows at the gates of Ikur, Enlil's palace in Nippur. Inside, Enlil slumbered, unaware. Kalkal, the vigilant gatekeeper, sensed the unrest. He slammed the bronze gates shut. Nusku rushed to Enlil's chamber. "My lord, your house is encircled. A rabble howls at your door." Enlil's eyes snapped open. Servants piled weapons by his throne. "Bar the doors," he commanded. "Stand before me with blade drawn." Nusku obeyed, but unease shadowed his gaze. "Why fear your own sons?" Enlil demanded him to summon Anu and Enki. Contact was made with Anu and Enki. Ninmah was also summoned. Anu appeared on a device. Enlil gripped his staff. "Have they risen against me? Shall I unleash war on my own blood?" Anu raised a hand. "Send Nusku." Let him demand answers. Nusku strode into the throng. "Who leads this folly? Who dares besiege Enlil's door?" The Igigi erupted. "We all declared war. The digging, the endless toil, crushes us. We've halted the works. We cry out to Enlil." Nusku returned breathless. They speak as one. The load is too heavy. Tears traced Enlil's cheeks. He turned to Anu. "Carry my decree upward. Call one god forward. Let fate cast him to destruction to appease this storm." We ignored the thunder of their suffering. Enki said, "Why lash out?" The burden was crushing. "We can end this. Let Nimna birth a new race, primeval man from organic material. Let humans bear our yoke. Forge mankind from the void. Let them toil in our stead." Ninmah inclined her head. "This birth is not mine alone. Give me organic material from Enki's creatures he has captured here on Ki, and I shall weave life." Enki smiled. "One god shall be slain. His blood mingled with organic material from a creature here that already walks on two legs. From that union, man will rise." One of the Anunnaki were slain in order to make the new human. I'm not sure for what reason. The only thing I can think is that they took the orb from the dead Anunnaki and placed it inside the new human. They used the lab on a new, large orbiting craft they had now got from Nibiru. This craft was huge, and even had a garden in it. Ea was now called Enki, Lord of Water. But it wasn't as simple as it sounds. Enki, Ninmah, and even Enki's son Nigashzida tried to get a full, able new primitive worker, but they failed 6 times. The first attempts they used the Neanderthal woman to give birth. The Neanderthal is what they used to get the organic material, also translated as clay or dust. The Neanderthal couldn't give birth. Then they had no choice but to let Ninmah birth a human. She knew the risks, sadly. The first was a baby was born with outstretched, weak hands that he could not bend or grasp with. This was no good, so they tried again. This time, the baby had constantly opened eyes, interpreted as blind. The third baby was born with both feet broken and paralyzed. The fourth baby could not hold back his urine. The sixth baby had no womb who could not give birth. The seventh had neither penis nor vagina. Enki tried a new idea, but it was even worse. Multiple severe afflictions. Afflicted head, eyes, neck, ribs, lungs, heart, bowels, spine, and shaky feet. Could not breathe easily, eat, or walk. Overall dislocated and dysfunctional body. Both Ninmah and Enki were upset. They had been trying for years. The Igigi were counting on them. If this doesn't work, then the Igigi will stop. And the gold that's needed to be sprinkled in their planet's atmosphere wouldn't be collected, and their planet would die. A new idea was to not use the equipment and bowls from the Anunnaki, but instead made bowls from Earth. Their idea was it might be their own sterilization that was causing the issues. Finally, a baby came out. It was perfect. It had short curly hair, its skin was dark and had dark eyes, much like the Neanderthal. Enki and the others were happy. They had created a primitive worker. It wasn't too smart, but smarter than the Neanderthal, and it could be taught basic things, unlike Neanderthal. Now, they just needed a female. They changed the DNA code, but Ninmah didn't want to give birth again. Enki asked his wife, Damkina, to be the mother. Damkina was the daughter of Alula, who was left to die on Mars. Damkina agreed, and they tried again. They named the boy Adamu, translating to human or earthling. The day arrived that Damkina was to give birth. Out came a healthy baby girl. She was more like the Anunnaki, lighter skin and sandy hair. This was perfect. Damkina named her Tiamat after the planet that broke up, and part of it is now Earth. They now had one of each, but they knew in order for the humans to breed, they needed at least 8 male and 8 female. Enki asked all the women Anunnaki to help. 7 stepped up, and they were told they would be called mother goddesses. The Indians call them Saptamatrikas. But before they could have the human babies, they needed to know if Adamu and Tiamat could breed. Because if they couldn't, then it would mean the Anunnaki women would have to give birth thousands of times. Sadly, Adamu and Tiamat couldn't have children. But Enki's son, Ningish Zeta, came up with an idea. You won't believe what he done.
I hope you are enjoying these. If you want to watch the other episodes, or watch one of my thousands of documentaries, please visit ourtruehistory.co.uk. Please reshare or repost this. It really helps me keep researching and making content. Thank you. Our True History.
Long before the stories in the Bible, a different tale of creation was etched in the oldest known tablets of humanity. This is our true history. Meet the Anunnaki, the gods who came to Earth from a distant world. They shaped our existence and left their mark on history. Unlike any other children's book, Our True History reveals the hidden truths. The Anunnaki's quest for gold in Africa, Enki, the kind-hearted god, defying his brother Enlil to save Noah from the Great Flood, and how Adam and Eve's origins trace back to these celestial beings. Each page is not just a story, but a gateway to evidence. Discover the links and dive into the ancient tablets that predate the Bible, proving these incredible events. Explore Our True History, now available on Amazon. It's time to discover the story that was always meant to be told.